Hello guys, welcome to the third part of the playthrough, the third and final part. We will continue where we left off the last time. We will renegotiate with the foreign monopolies to rid ourselves with the national spirit of foreign monopolies, remove the last few debuffs, penalties, better word, and we will start preparing our army because, as you guys know, we are not in a very good position. We still are lacking quite a lot of guns and artillery equipment. Now, there is something that we can do about it, and considering, and this is just a game thing that I don't particularly like and wanted to change it a bit. I kind of dislike the idea that you have to go down one path because it doesn't really make much sense. Each army needs to use pretty much everything. So you just can make equipment and one type of artillery and be fine. You should be able to have anti-tanks, anti-air, everything. And in my opinion, if you're a minor nation, you should just have a few and possibly pick one field where you specialize. But the min-maxing theme that happens in a lot of games, I really did not like it. So what I did in return, I decided to create a focus about it. Now, this focus called Mobilize the Economy is vastly changed, as you can see. In order for you to click it, you have to extend the army budget, which is on the right, we saw it last time, and you have to complete the Greek army reborn in its silent might. Of course, that's the case if you go down the Metaxas path, otherwise you will have to do something else. As you can see, for a limited time, we will receive off-map military factories from every influenceable country that has an opinion of Greece greater than 85, and our favor with them is at least mediocre. In addition, we will receive a massive increase of production growth. So again, it's the same like the other two focuses, and what happens is that you will gain for 90 days some factories, and because how the game works, you will also gain a boost in production growth, so you can increase that and make the maximum amount of equipment you want. And the idea behind this is that you will start going down the military path. You will choose some fields where you specialize, or you can broaden up and pick different categories, and then you will be able for 3 months to build that equipment. So the idea is that you're basically lore-wise, you're licensing equipment, you're getting help from foreign investors to gain some things in return, and this is the point where you actually get the equipment. That's how I justify it. It will also change your economy law to war economy, since we have partial mobilization. This still remains from the base game. Perhaps I'm going to change this a bit. I also think that I will change the economy laws to be dependent on the Italians. So if you go into partial mobilization or war economy too early, it will cause a reaction. I'm not certain though. I just have to do some play testing and see how strong Greece becomes through all this. But in this case, we will gain war economy as well. So what we want to do is research as many as possible, as many technologies as possible, and then go down this path and get enough equipment. Now, when the war starts, because Greece is a minor nation, I've introduced another mechanic that will pretty much cripple you at producing equipment. Again, I wanted to be historically accurate, and what happened in real life, Greece actually had a lot of men ready and trained for war, but they didn't fight, and they stood back in the reserves. And the reason is that we didn't have enough equipment and enough ammunition, right? At some point, the Greeks asked the British that if they didn't send any more ammunition than what they were already sending, they won't be able to continue the war after the next 2 months. And it makes sense because you're a minor nation. You can't just keep having the same industrial capacity, efficiency, and fight the war at the same time. So depending on the size of your army, you're going to get some penalties. But we will see about all that when the war starts. What I want to do right now is to upgrade my army, but we will need an officer preparation of at least 75%. And right now, and excuse me, I have to close all this again. All right, not this. And all right, I don't need this anymore at this point. I need this. I don't need this. I don't need this as well. This, all right, so we have 60% officer preparation. And you can pretty much see that most officers are completely trained. So we need to do a tiny bit more work and we will be able to have a proper army when the war starts. The first, milestone is 75% because I really want to do this. This is what will propel us at completely training our officers, because we can choose a partner and we will get some technologies for free, like infantry equipment, artillery, even tanks. We'll just get into technologies. And basically this is the reason why you have such huge penalties, because otherwise this would have been very strong. So the basic idea of this focus is that it will allow you to gain some early level designs for free without having to waste all the research slots. And that's another reason why you don't gain 2 research slots, and the one you're going to get now, you're going to get it extremely late at 9:39 at least. Unless you go down the path very fast and you decide that you don't want to get any factories for some reason, then you might be able to get this very early, but that's something you have to decide if you want to try something new in your next playthrough. In this case, we will be getting the next research slot pretty late, so we definitely need to gain some army modernization, otherwise it's going to be problematic. Yeah, I would also like to research interwar artillery, because basically this focus will give us 1 level in artillery at least if we pick a certain side. So I want to get the improved artillery on time and be able to research it. That's how I plan to move along. So we gain some equipment improvements and some of our officers will train. That's good and all, so we can continue. And we can upgrade the Menliher and actually buy some steel. At this point I think we have enough factories to buy some steel and even finish the ships, though I wouldn't say it's necessary. I don't have any more factories, and this takes 3 more days, so possibly I will need 2 more. It will drop to 4. So I was thinking about giving 1 factory back and having a deficit of 2, but then I will have a higher deficit, so not that good after all. Alright, so we can change Nelly now for someone else, and we should have some choices, but I'll look at it a bit later. So again, this is a historical event that has to do with the Balkan Pact. Now, I realized at some point that I can't give you all the choices because you will have so many and you will lose control. So many historical things will pop up by themselves, depending of course on world circumstances, and you get the choice to react. Now, in this case, this was actually a really interesting story. Paul Karageorgievich, who was the regent, if I remember correctly, there were so many titles, I obviously forget some, confided to Metaxas that the conspiracy that had lately uncovered the Bulgarian premier Georgi Glosivanov had broken the special treaty he had signed with Greece. I didn't think we saw that event, but I will include it in a later stage. And when he met with his counterpart Milan Stojadinovic, sorry, I really can't pronounce those words, in Nice on November 1st, 1938, he proposed the partition of Greece. Thrace would be given to Bulgaria and Thessaloniki to the Yugoslavians. If that wasn't enough already, the regent also revealed the two-faced policy of the British through Ambassador Lorraine in Turkey, who sought a Bulgarian exit in the Aegean. Now, the story behind this is that the British wanted to bring Bulgarians towards their side, towards the Allies, but they came into the conclusion that's a very hard thing to do because, Yugoslavia was pro-Allied at this point, Greece was obviously pro-Allied, and Turkey as well. So there was a question, where is Bulgaria going to expand, and what can the British offer to the Bulgarians that the Germans cannot. So Greece was the only choice, and the British were contemplating that they should gain access to the Aegean by gaining those two states. In which case, we get the decision to reprimand the British through our foreign policy, and this is what we are going to do. And as you can see, Metaxas arrives in Bucharest. Leaving Belgrade at night, he was at Belgrade the last day. Prime Minister had seemingly no time to waste. In Bucharest, the tough bras de fer between him and Sarakoglu ensures. Now, Sarakoglu is a person of interest. If you go down the Turkish path, I don't think we've selected it at this point, or actually it is tied down to pursue the Balkan Pact. The Sarakoglu path actually is tied to Exoteriki Politiki. We will have to go down the Turkish path, and if we go down the Turkish path long enough, we will have to deal with this guy, who was basically the guy who didn't want to be very friendly to Greece and wanted to support Axis, mostly Bulgarian positions. So Metaxas goes to Bucharest, where they had a meeting, and he has a bras de fer with him and Sarakoglu, with him openly supporting the Bulgarian exit on the Aegean. So again, this isn't yet completely implemented, but you're going to get a lot of events where, when you see the brackets, it means I took passages from Metaxas's diary. So you're going to gain some insight on how the Greek dictator thought at the time and how reacted to unfolding events. Again, we just made this decision, so I'm going to insist heavily on the protests. We'll lose some political power, but if we are lucky enough, we will get it back and some more. Obviously, this also depends on our influence with the British. As you can see, influence has a role to play in everything. So you have to be careful about that. And at this point, what I would like to do is start developing a network in the Italians. And the reason is that I want to be able to see how many divisions I can get away with. If you remember the Game of Shadows path. And checking this out when this mission ends. Alright, actually ended. Let me check my generals. Right, most of them are completely trained, so they weren't retrained again, and someone else got the tip. As you may see, the generals might have become too strong. I've really tried to limit this through various tricks, but it seems that I might have done some mistakes in the code. In any case, if your general goes beyond 5, I said before that if you prepare the army well enough, you will get some preparation bonuses when the war starts. When those run out, and they run out in 2 phases, unless you fail at some things, and then you will lose them immediately. When those fall out, your generals will become weaker, so they will lose some of these points. And these are basically for the start of the war. I haven't yet found the golden solution about how many days those will last, but I hope it won't make them too strong in the end. That's my plan. At this point, they're a bit too strong, I think, but definitely it will be much better in the last version. I intend the game to be hard, but beating the Italians is honestly quite easy, even if you didn't have any buffs, because the Italian AI is very weak. So again, we can see some developments in the Balkan Pact path. But as I was saying, the Italians are pretty weak. Overall, the Italian AI is not very strong. They won't defend certain parts. So what I tried to do is implement some AI strategies so the British won't invade Albania, because I don't want to play such a game and then not be able to fight a war. It will be a downer, so I just decided to go a bit historical here and make it impossible for the British to invade Albania. Still doesn't work all the time, but many times the British will just give up and won't try to navally invade Albania, which is good for you. Well, it's bad for you, but it's good because you want to enjoy the game, right? So I will go down the Academy of Athens, and then I will immediately start mining for more resources. Maybe I shouldn't have sat upon myself to gain some political power, and could have gotten this a bit earlier, but this is what we have right now. And the other choice is to get the army upgrade. So we will do this as well. As you see, the generals will become a bit better. Possibly what I will do is add a percentage chance for them to gain a bonus skill point on any decision, so they will have a lower overall increase, which is a bit too strong right now. Alright, we're gonna get one more factory, that's good. So we will reinforce Asphali to gain one more operative. And we will start a war on dangerous minorities and talks of a pro-Axis plot. Now this happens after the Cretan uprising, which was a Republican attempt to overthrow the regime. So historically speaking, Maniadakis, it was his only failure. He didn't realize that the coup would happen in Crete, but it was so badly organized that it was crushed immediately. Now, Metaxas didn't have the same opinion as other dictators who wanted to kill their opponents. He had a different mindset, and one reason for this is at his later years he tried to have a policy more of a reconciliation, at least if you weren't a communist, because he still considered communism something awful and he wanted to crush it. So you won't have to kill every person in the opposition, thankfully, like you would have in Italy or Germany or even the Soviet Union. Now the gruesome decision is activated, which enables this focus, and we gain some choices. Those are not yet fully incorporated into the game, so we won't go down these, and they are pretty much old historical, so we will avoid them. I want to check this out. Alright, so I should go down with this. One more factory. At this point what I want is infantry equipment. It seems we have enough for the units, so 1.2, if I remember correctly, it was 11k. Right, it's 16k, so we need 12,000 more infantry equipment to be able to proceed with this focus. And we can go with upgrading the army. And here is where we can choose a partner. Again, the event is not yet ready. And the tiles will have some description, but in this case, the event, as I said, is not completed yet. We will choose the British and the French and gain some equipment upgrades, field hospital. You're going to get quite a lot, but if you chose the Germans, you might be able to do something closer to mobile warfare. But again, it would be much harder because you wouldn't be able to research anything, so you would just have to jump over here. We've also gained a 400% increase in Grand Assault, which we will use. And we will try to proceed and gain some upgrades. As I said, no, this wasn't necessary. We should go down here with reignite liquefaction. I'm gonna sit upon this for a while. So Albania gets capitulated and King Zog flees to Greece. This is what happened. Again, our hands are tied. Italians are making preparation. I'm also trying to help the Italians here a bit by giving them some infrastructure. And since we gain so many new equipment, we gain all these events, so we're gonna have our officers trained to the top. Perhaps I will change this later on because it seems too good, but we'll see how it goes. The Italians also gain one region with one inaccessible region. They just have to either go beyond 9 infrastructure, or they have to do some other decisions. Likewise, we can as well, as I said, we can use this guy who will enable one decision right here in Καθεστώς Metaxas, which will develop our inaccessible regions. So we just need him to activate it. Now I don't need him because I want the consumer good factories. I think, yep, I need them. So I'm gonna kick him out and choose another guy called Andreas Apostolidis, who was the Minister of Economics. So we will be able to gain some consumer good factories as well. Now, on the other hand here, we can see some more choices where we can crush the Slavic element. This is what we want to do, because if the Bulgarians go down the path where they cause some events on Thrace and Macedonia, if we crush the Slavs now, we will be able to avoid those events. And we will do the same for some other minorities which are tied to certain nations, like the Chamic event, where people living in this position, in this area in Epirus, they were used then by the Albanians and the Italians, and so you want to oppress them a bit just so they won't pop off when you capitulate. And the same thing with the Pomakic element, which were Muslims in religion. So basically you can go after some minorities, as it happened in reality. Metaxas decided to go against minorities that posed a national threat, and the other minorities that weren't that politically aligned to a nation, they were pretty much smoothly assimilated to the regime. Again, we have taken notice of some people in our cabinet that want to go pro-German and they will try to overthrow us, so we won't make these decisions just in case. Otherwise we will have huge issues later on. And again, since I will be getting more resources, I want to be able to have more of them by improving the infrastructure. Now, again, we can go with extracting more from our soil, gain some extra resources, and I think I will upgrade the hotkeys and support weapons too, and make some more equipment just in case. And I'm slowly going to prepare what I'm gonna need. Sorry. I might want to start improving my army. I just want to make sure they're in a good position. And we need to gain some experience. And actually start improving the Ministry of Propaganda a bit, since we don't have a lot of things to do. Again, so you gain some choices here that also happened. And we could have done this earlier on, it's not that important now, so I'm not going to click it. I'm gonna keep the political power going, and I can choose a lignite partner. Different choices. I think I will choose the Germans, although I will be at war with them at some point. It will have a big influence increase, but I think we're already max, so it doesn't really matter. And I think I will go with the British in that regard, because the Americans have a shitload of oil, doesn't matter for them, but it should help the British a bit. And we can actually go down for this decision try at this point. We can order some extra weapons if we want. This was this focus, I didn't speak about it, but it will require me a budget token, which I don't have, so I can't choose them. I can choose the exploit errata. If they don't have and gain 3 more factories, I think I should do this. Or I can check the state of my Metaxas line and think whether I want to make 1 more level or not. I'm gonna sit on political power for now and think about it a bit later. Again, if things look a bit too strong, obviously the numbers will change. My intention is to make it a pretty hard playthrough to survive. And actually it's also quite hard to survive now against Germany for 1 year. Because as I said, you will have some negative modifiers the moment the war starts. So you will run out of equipment sooner or later. And we have one more, it seems. Because we finished some with the military. Again, some events proccing because we're in historical playthrough. And we need 30,000. I think we're almost there. Okay, I'm thinking about extending the metaxas line. Do I really need the factories? I kinda need the factories, but I also need to have more than 6 in all these provinces to make another decision in here. It's called prepare the land, but for it to appear I need to have more than 6 in all these provinces. Or perhaps I haven't finished the focus yet. Right, I haven't finished the focus because it is tied down to this. Now my spy network in Italy should be high enough for me to check out what's going on. So I'm gonna open the Game of Shadows, click Allow Divisions, and I see that currently I can have a maximum of 31 divisions. So what I want to do is use this template. I actually don't need these templates anymore. I'm not going to use them, and I hate having too much things in my screen. So I'm gonna use this, which means basically garrison, to defend my islands. I'm gonna make 7 of them, because that's how many I need to defend southern Greece from any naval assault by the Italians, who probably shouldn't be attempting to naval invade me, at least on Crete and the Aegean Islands, because the British have control of the seas. So a pretty weak division is more than enough. The thing is, this counts as a division, so if I try to make too many of them, the Italians will realize I'm preparing an army. So currently I have 13 and 7, that's 20, and it means I have 11 more. And to that regard, I could improve my counterintelligence a bit to increase that number, but I wouldn't say it's necessary. Another thing I'm going to do is infiltrate civilian administration, and we will talk about it a bit later. The reason, when the war is over. Right, I could go down with this, but it will reduce our opinion with the Germans because they gain an opinion modifier, and I want them to stay at 100% all the time, so I'm going to delay it a bit. Although 3 factors are pretty good, so actually I'm gonna go for this. I have enough political power, and I will further extend the metaxas line. Thing is, I'm not going to get this infrastructure in time probably, unless I find a better way to deal with it. But again, it's just 4 months to further extend it. There are 4 months, but there are more factories, so that's going to be problematic. And by increasing propaganda, you see, we can increase the effect multiplier on the monarchists. Currently with our divisions it's 105%, so we're gonna get more buffs from the monarchists at this point. And we can also increase the communists, which is a good, decrease the communist effect, which is a good idea. And I can politically restrict Ogias. This is one way to remove him without tanking our relations with the fascist nations, because we actually found out that he was part of the coup attempt. So we have a reason to kick him out without losing anything. And half of his stats will be given to Metaxas, to his trait. So that's a good idea because we need this position. Probably I can use the extra advisor to my benefit here, and as you see, even though we have a lot of political power. I'd say we have more political power than all the major nations combined at this course of the game. And oh shit. Alright, we lost an agent. Is he one of these? Nope. So Kodias has been kicked. I want some political power to gain one more agent. Those are the base game ones. For some reason I haven't removed them yet, but I will probably will, or change the traits to something more accurate. So we have some choices here. If we wanted to go for the Grand Coalition, we could choose these two. They will help with getting enough on Metaxas ideology, but that's not the case. This guy is not ready yet, so we can't choose him. We can either go for construction speed, or we can go... Alright, Second World War started and we didn't even notice it. So again, some information, historical events. This is Emanuele Grazzi, who was the Italian ambassador in Greece. And we lost some political power to give some guarantees out, so that's bad, we can't choose anyone. But our good choices are either Nelly, Achilleas Kyrou, who will give us some good stuff, which basically is limited now to political power, and Sisa Karaiskaki, who will help us improve our agency. So I'm not having any choices right now, so I'm not going to pay any attention. I have to get ready for this. So we'll finish this to get the extend the army budget. We will get 10 off-map dockyards for a few days. I think we can see those days on the Supreme Command. It's 90 days for us to lose the dockyards. What we did actually is seek aid from the Greek diaspora. The Greek diaspora was very strong, but as you can see, depending on our relation with political parties, we gain more. So, since we're at very good relations with monarchists and fascists, we gain 2 levels of dockyards, which is 10. If we had perfect relations with the other 2, we would gain more dockyards, but that's not the case. We can use them, however, to finish those ships, which is a good scenario, and I will also put a placeholder here just so we don't lose the factories for no reason. Right, we lost all our bonuses. I'm not sure we should go down this. This is not useful. This and this could be useful, but they will require at least almost 2 years to finish, and I don't think we have the time for it. So I'm not going to go down for those. We could get... we could go for this when this maximizes. I think that's the best choice. And we will extend the army budget. By extending the army budget, we're gaining access to one more decision, which I haven't put on map yet. But we can further extend the budget and gain 2 more tokens. For 25 political power, this will change, I think, to both army experience and political power, and a minor debuff for some days, so this is still in works. But as you see, we have our army pretty much salvaged, our army situation. When the war starts, if we prepare the army enough with these decisions, we will have the army stabilized immediately, so we won't have any more debuffs. So it will just proc when the war starts. And I think I'm just gonna wait and gain some political power at this point. There is no reason to do anything else. Oh, I can do this, so I'm going to do this. Now we can gain the engine back. I put him back into place. Oh, it seems I didn't gain the improved artillery. Alright. Basically, when you modernize the army, I've limited the amount of technology you get, so you don't get 1+ level every case. If you go down a category too fast, you just won't get enough. You just won't get more. So you can't expect to gain a 2nd level of anti-air and anti-aircraft and anti-tank with this focus. You will get only early technologies. So we got this, we gain some extra decisions like prepare the land. Again, we can't do this now, we need to have enough infrastructure, and then we need civilian factory usage. As you can see, basically you might think you have many factories, but you're going to be using them all the time, so you have less than what appears you have. So I'm gonna do this because I can, why not? Although I could keep the political power now that I think about it. And we can gain the second level of field hospital, which is completely mandatory, I'd say, because we're a nation with very, very low manpower. No. And we can actually complete this focus if we want, but we're not yet ready. We also need to start improving relations with all nations again, at least those we don't have 100%, because we're gonna need at least 85. So I'm gonna check any nations we don't have relations with, like with the Germans, since we exploited their generosity, they won't like us that much. So with every nation that I have below 80, I'm just gonna replenish and let the modifier hit 100%. I think we're done. Again, this will draw down our political power, but the thing is we haven't managed to make so many investment schemes. We could have some investments, but sadly this will take a lot of political power and we won't be able to gain as much as the decision goes, so we can't spam them. So we're gonna stick to that. We can gain some fighter technology if we want by the British. I think it's a good idea to gain some fighters, but then again we will lose the air wars very easily. And historically speaking, Greece did not have that many fighters to begin with. Now my plan is to gain another advisor, probably this guy. He can... I'm not sure, can he win us 125 political power in 1 year? I'm not sure. But this will increase by a bit. Probably not. We could go with Manuel Tsuderos, gain some more factories. I think that's a good idea, because we need to build some infrastructure. Now the Metaxas plan is maximized because we finished all his decisions, so we have some extra benefits. As you can see, because we have improved the domestic competition, we're not gaining any industrial aid anymore, so we would just lose political power if we were to select it. But we still gain some buffs for artillery and fighter planes, because we still have a low level of domestic competition at minus 50%, so we can counterweigh the disadvantages. One smart idea is to go down and help the Japanese a bit, and in return you will gain access to early naval bombers. That is useful if you want to play against the Italians, and if you want to attack the Italians after taking over Albania, then you might need some naval bombers to destroy their ships. So I'm gonna place all my infantry here, defend the ports, 7 exactly. I'm gonna choose the leader with the highest defense. It happened to be this guy in this playthrough, so I'm gonna use him, train them. And we'll get this guy and get some more factories.
They tried hard, and they were beaten back. They were frustrated in their task. We got the army away,
and I'm thinking what I could do. Alright, I can do this.
for any losses which they have inflicted.
Paris has fallen, so the event will proc.
When we consider how much greater
Good.
would be our advantage in defending the air above this island
Right now we'll gain 29 factories for 90 days, for 3 months. I think we still have some problems here, right? And we have huge problems with steel, which we will have to fix right now with the Soviets. If we went down the Soviet path, we would gain some better trade deals with them, but we didn't, so we'll have to pay full price. And I think we will slowly have to change our equipment a bit. I want some anti-tanks, but I'm not gonna put them into divisions yet, because if the Italians have to attack now, even if they bring tanks, they won't be strong, so I don't mind. But I want to use my anti-tank when the Germans come. So I'm just gonna put a field hospital to preserve as much manpower as possible against the Italians. And that's all I'm gonna do. So we can go for this, which basically completes the Metaxas reforms and sets a flag that we have done all that we could. Of course, it doesn't stop us from finishing the decisions, right? It just makes the game understand that we finished everything. We can actually announce the Metaxas line and make the forts appear on the map and increase our justification, the justification war goal time on us by 25% if we want to do so. But I'd rather keep them as a surprise, I don't really mind. So I don't think I have anything else to research at this point. I can go with this, and I would like to do two things. I would like to solidify my assets and gain some more tokens on so I can buy some guns. To do that, I can go down to the Hellenic Armed Forces Supreme Command, buy two, and as you see we just lost our access to the dockyards. Hopefully we got the ship, we didn't, so that's bad. When you gain, when you increase your budget tokens, as you see, you already gain some additional negative impacts. So I want to alleviate them a bit because it pretty much took everything. So I'll have to go up. And I'll have to close this for the time being, and I'll need to go to economic alleviation or fluidity. I think it's fluidity, and here we can alleviate the effects of our military budget. Again, it's not ready, it's immediate. It should take some time for it to take place, so it should be a bit more dynamic, and probably will make a UI where those icons appear on the map and you will have a table to see what's going on. At this point it's pretty basic, that's what I'm trying to say. We'll sit on this for a bit, gain 30 days, probably try to go down, concentrate in Industry 4. It might not make sense, but you might want to do this if you are to continue playing the game. But overall I'd say we're ready for in terms of training. Alright, and what I can do is start clicking this. And I'd like to see my influence with certain nations to know what's going on. And it seems that it has maxed out. Again, probably it won't be that easy to get them to max at the end version. So I'm just gonna close this, and I will very soon click this, which will give us 29 factories. Or I can wait some days to gain some extra technologies to be able to produce some of them, but right, so if I wait 4 months, it will be February, March, April, May. Alright, so I'm gonna wait till May, and I will do the focus then, and I will be able to produce anti-tank 2, because this is my plan, because I need to face the German onslaught after the Italians, who should be easy. So I need to prepare for that as well, so I'm going to wait on this. I'm not going to click it now, even though I could use war economy, and it will also allow me to reinforce the domestic competition one more level. So I have a lot to gain by doing this now, but I also really want to gain the improved anti-tanks, because, you know, when the Germans come, you will have problems. For the time being, we will gain some buffs using our budget tokens, and at the same time, forgive me, I cannot see this, alleviate the effects of the budget till we bring it down to 0. And the most important thing we want is basically this, guns. Because we won't be able to produce as many guns when the time comes for war, so I want to produce everything now. Although I could cut some slack for the rest of things needed. Make it 7, gain 4 artillery, try to see if we're lacking anything, missing anything. Alright, nope, that's good. I could also start building raiders if I had the factories, the factories to build them. It seems that I could actually do it. Especially if you have raiders and you have naval bombers, it's a very good plan to start bombing here. Of course, if you can defeat their aircraft, their air force. So we could choose this, but there's no point. It's too late to buy destroyers and submarines at this point, so I'm not going to go down this. And we still need at least a level of research in airplanes to be able to go down this path. I think I will do this now. I will open the investment panel, and it seems that I cannot find it. I don't think I need to find it. Alright, I can go to the British, to the British and just get some aid, which means that when this runs out in how many days exactly? Oh, it won't tell. Alright, it will tell. In 13 days I will be able to gain a 50% of bonus on upgrading this. Again, I tried to put the right models that were historically accurate, to maintain the ones that were and change the ones that wasn't. And in the meantime, we can go down with this, gain some extra synthetic factories, avoid any need to buy fuel because we don't have many airplanes or ships, so we won't be wasting too much fuel. And I could also do something like this, go here. Alright, I already have the one Basilico Stol. Okay. And I'm just waiting for the 50% to come in 3 days. I might lose some days, but I will be able to get it very fast. At least create some airplanes so I will avoid bombing. Alright, I should have it now. Good. Again, there have been a lot of changes in the AI. For example, the Italian AI I had to make some changes that were soft, meaning they won't change too much in the game and make things hard for it to run. But at the same time, I wanted to, make the AI better. So what I noticed is the Italians are defending these two borders, which makes no sense. So when you have 7 divisions on Greece and 13 divisions on Switzerland, well, no, that doesn't really make sense, right? So I decided to take some units off here and put them on other fronts. That's why the Italians might be better on Libya and might be better on Greece. At the same time, I've made some strategy plans that not just for the Italians, but Italians, Germans, British, basically every nation that you can see on this part of the screen. So the Italians will start focusing you more than they used to. Alright, and now we can do this. I'm just checking out if I have to retain them in this part of in Epirus, otherwise I want to move them. Alright, I don't have to, nice. So I'm gonna click those 2 decisions and we're almost done with the military. I'm gonna put 4 divisions on the Albanian front because that's the maximum limit you can put here, otherwise it will trigger an event on the Italians because you're mobilizing on the front. So again, you can't stack all your divisions here and fortify them with hopes that you will hold them. You can do it with 4 divisions max. Now I'm checking if there's anything to... Alright, we can go down with this, I guess. We don't have anything else. Troops are trained, mostly I think. Let me see, alright, just a bit more, because we changed the division template. And we can choose some traits for our generals. We were lucky enough, Papagos got a mountaineer trait and an engineer, which means we can go like this. Since I will be attacking, I will go with offensive doctrine, organization first, and we can either go with this or this. I think with this because we need to push the mountains. Alright, we have one more. Alright, we can go with Max Planck. That's Papagos, let's see Katsimitros. Give him Guerrilla Fighter. Dracos, nothing. Solako will do nothing. Velakis, nothing. So, alright, we have an agent captured. We can do a mission to free them. Alright, use her, complete, prepare, and then I want to take this guy and put him here. Now when these two are done, it seems this will take some more time on the anti-tank, so we will lose some days from this. At this point we might want to put some more generals, but since these guys do nothing at this point, it's not yet completed, it won't make sense, so that's that. Also the events improving your chief are not yet implemented, so we only have the first level. I have some decisions to do it manually, but it won't be fair, so I'm just gonna leave him as he is. I'm quite happy with the state of our army. Again, historically Greece had around this much manpower on the field, around 250,000 troops on the ground, and some more, like 20,000 more in the navy and the air, if I remember properly. So the game leads us towards a historical amount of divisions, or if not divisions, troop size. Or army size, to be more specific. Again, we will win some political power. What I would like to do is solidify assets at this point. I can check out how much more of my military budget is annoying me. Right, we no longer have problems with the military budget. We can check this out here. So we have 6 choices and everything is fine. We could conduct some exercises, but our generals are 100% trained. We have no problem. And we won't be losing generals in the fight. Now, should we help the Turks or not? I guess not. At this point, this is where you want to apply some tariffs, but this is not yet ready, incorporated, so I'm not going to do this. It will also make my relations plummet, and I still need the influence, believe it or not. So I'm going to keep them here. Now, since I have everything 6, maybe I should go and improve this. Actually, I don't think this is the best plan. The best plan is to make some factories, to be honest. After we finish with the raiders. Alright, it seems the Italians are losing. Let's hope they don't lose too much. Well, if the Italians become too much of a bummer, I will just try to help them a bit off screen and then return into the game, because I obviously would like to have a good war going on. Another thing I would like to mention is that you are pretty much obligated to keep a garrison on the Bulgarian front line, um, and this number in the end version will be affected by whether you have Metaxas, uh, or actually I'm not sure if this will be the case because the forts are not, you know, the forts are not known to the enemy, so you need to have a number of troops on the Bulgarian line. The idea is because the Bulgarians will automatically declare war on you without any delay. This is what happened historically. The Greeks had left a small detachment guarding the Bulgarian line, and they had to move the rest of the army to fight in Epirus. Now, this is how it worked out in 1940. The Turks had very good relations with the Greeks at that point due to all the attempts Metaxas made. So when the war was about to start, there was a pro-Greek sentiment in Turkey, a pretty strong pro-Greek sentiment actually, and what they did was, when the war was declared, they would say that they would intervene if the Bulgarians attacked Greece. So the Bulgarians not only did have to worry about the Greek troops on the Bulgarian line, but also about the Turkish guarantees. Of course, those guarantees weren't imposed when the Germans attacked because Turkey would also get annihilated by the Germans, and they backed down at that point. But they were willing to go at war with Bulgaria if they tried to intervene in the Greco-Italian war. So if you plummet your relations with the Turks, they won't do any of that, and if you leave your borders unmanned, then the Bulgarians will attack you from the side through an event. So in any case, you should keep a detachment, obviously not this strong, but I can only have 4 units here, and I can put 2 units on the back lines hoping they won't see them. So I could also go for some anti-air since I have none, and I could incorporate it to the divisions. Again, this will take some time for it to be ready, but it should be ready at some point, and we can go with an interwar fighter. Alright, we got the point. The first thing we want to do is pause the game and use our new factories. I'll probably use 9 for guns, 12 to gain the better version, some for support equipment. Let's put 2 on motorized, or maybe 3. Put enough on artillery because we're gonna need a lot. Alright, let's keep a 3 for a small fighter squadron to be developed. Let's put 5, 7 on the anti-tank, and I will keep them especially for the Germans. And let's keep 2 on the anti-air, and now we will need to buy some stuff. We can choose the Soviets, the British Raj. We can also drop down our free trade to limited exports, but I kinda like the factories we gain from exporting, so I'm gonna keep them. Right, and also assign any new factories to... Let's go like this. Now for 90 days we gain efficiency surge of 200%. If you want, right, let's do the solidify aspect since we have the political power. And we can check how many days we have more here. Well, we can also check it through this one because it will tell us when it will expire, so they expire together. So when this expires, we'll use the factories as well. At that point we can reinforce the domestic competition. Something that will make all these factories completely useless, but at the same time it will open some possibilities with your own type of factories. I haven't changed the values on these, so they're a bit overpowered, especially this. For some reason it duplicates. I don't know why, but it does. So I'm not going to change anything, just to be a bit more fair in this game, in this playthrough. We could go for this, just for the research speed. Alright, and we can improve this now. Alright, I guess this... Fuck, man. Come on, why are they doing this? Do they have control of the sea or something? In any case. Now we're, I think, done with all this, so I'm not going to open this anymore. I'm just gonna get some political power. Or we can also gain this, gain 48 more fighters. I need to close this, no more reason to use this. And I can call some previous classes of soldiers, gain some manpower. And basically we have fully prepared the army at this point, so we have nothing to worry about. Nothing more to choose here, and as you see the plot of the Germanophiles, Germanophili in Greek, Germanophiles in English, I guess you'd say it like that. Alright, we can go down with this. Now we don't have that much of a problem with developing technologies, and our domestic competition is actually positive in construction speed and trade laws. Right, so we are done. Will we finish? Alright. So what remains is for the Italians to attack us, but it seems that stupid shit they did worked out for them, so I guess I don't have to buff them indirectly through the save file. That's good. And I can change an icon to this to make it a bit more, you know, obvious to the eye. And it seems that they cleared up and they will circle the British and destroy them completely. Which, funnily enough, is also a bad scenario because the Italian AI will now move all its units to fight the African war and lose all its equipment. But I made some AI changes to give them to make them give priority here. And as you can see, since we worked out, since we made the decisions in the Asphalia branch, the plot failed, and we will gain 400 political power and a 25 increase in monarchists' effects. So that's good. I think I'm gonna use it right here. The railway propaganda is good, gives us one infrastructure on every state. Organize some festivities. All this will increase the monarchist effect, which will become a bit stronger. It will also increase the effective total manpower. We can see all the effects at the top of the screen. And we could form a department, I think, and although I kinda need those, so. Right, I guess we can also check the divisions that we can get away with from the Italians, or I don't have sufficient intel. Guess I'm gonna use one more to gain one extra access in Sicily. Do they connect? I'm not sure they connect. Alright, let's make it like this. And we have an issue here, right, with this. Train the units a bit since we added anti-aircraft. So we gain them at full levels. And slowly the Italians should start moving their troops back in Albania. They also had an AI focus where it hints them to improve the infrastructure of Albania, because many times, you know, the AI for some reason overloads Albania and then they will die out of supply. I didn't want this to happen, but I would advise you though to play the game with expert AI, which is completely compatible. I've made some play runs with the mod included and it worked pretty much as expected. And it makes even the Italians hard to beat, right? I don't think I can realistically make Greece weak enough for you to be troubled with Italians in Albania. I don't think it can happen. Because it simply is too easy to beat the AI, if you know what you're doing, of course. So the time for war comes. Let's check the Italians. It seems that they have around 193 divisions. I think we have more factories than them. For some reason I can't click my country. Right. Yeah. We don't have more factories than them, those are the temporary ones. We're gonna lose 29, so we have 20 military factories in total. Hope I get enough. Let me see my stockpile. Alright, our stockpile is it's big enough to help us sustain 1 year of war. And we are allowed 34 divisions, so I'm gonna start training all my manpower. Alright, not all, I'm gonna leave some just in case. And what you can do is just not deploy them and it won't count, so... But since I can deploy them, I will deploy them and start training them, because I want my army ready when war comes. In that regard, I could either sit upon some political power or use the training, army training, which I guess is a good choice, but we also will need the political power, because when the war starts, you won't be getting as much political power. You will lose most of it due to being in a state of war, so that doesn't count. As you can see, the national spirits are kinda compressed a bit. This is a placeholder, does nothing. Let's finish with some Ministry of Press and Tourism. Increase our stats a bit, up to 200%, so that's good. And now this is the point where the Italians start declaring war on us. And it is also the point, let me make a save file, just in case something goes wrong, I need to fix this. This is the point where the Italian AI should start sending troops to Albania. As you see, it seems the AI is working properly. I just hope it won't take too much for them to bring them from here and reposition them on Crete, on Albania. Right, seems they're bringing some troops, nice. They also have full control of the Mediterranean, which seems we overbuffed the Italians. So I guess we can make some little concessions just in case they will start navally invading us. I don't want to lose anything, it just takes very little time to do this, so I'm gonna help my divisions a bit. They do seem to have some armor again. It's in the mountains, it's not gonna be useful. I think I can tank it. I want to keep all my anti-tanks in my stockpile. I don't want to lose any of them from attrition. I want to use them when the Germans come. And it seems we lost the factories, so let's go a bit more conservative here, gain something of everything. Keep one, I guess. It's a pretty bad state. Guess we will prioritize anti-aircraft a bit and artillery because we will lose a lot. Since we have a lot of these, I'm gonna put them as a secondary option, and let's get all our factories back. Alright, keep one, 4 steel, and we're ready to go. Now, the way the war works is that it is made through decisions. Another panel will open here. So let's close anything we don't need. We certainly don't need this. We don't need this as well. Neither this. So we have our spy here. Perhaps we could try to do something, though we don't see any reason to at this point. And we have another level of fighters. It seems we have a small detachment. I could train them for 1 month, gain something extra. What I will do is try to intercept any missions, though not really a reason to do that. And I would just keep my navy in the port of Piraeus, because I think the Italians will have a go at my land through naval invasions in this case. So perhaps I should build one extra level. Or I could also train some more garrison to garrison the coastline here as well, because I don't want them to navally invade me from the back. So I'm gonna make 8 more divisions. And I need to do something with this. I have enough, so let's make some anti-aircraft. Won't take too much, right? Okay. Some anti-aircraft, and we can start preparing some fortifications, although I don't think I will be thrown back. I think I can hold the Italians on point. I'll just have to quickly move my troops to the border when it happens, when the war starts, as it historically happened actually. I guess we can go with this. It doesn't really matter because the playthrough will end soon. Right, for some reason the British have taken this island as well. You can never trust the Italian AI are doing its job. Right, so what I'm gonna do here is that I have how many battalions? Why can I not see it? Right, sorry, my bad. 20. Right, we can have 34, which means we can pop them here unless something changes. If they put a spy on our land, the number will drop. So this is kind of a risk. But what I want to do is not this. I want to take all these guys, move them out, move them to Trikala, and move these guys here, who I will train. Nope, not you, but you. So these guys will sit on this front and train, and when they are ready, they will be brought to Albania. So out of these, I'm gonna take half, put them over the mountains, and move these to Gravena. And train all the units that need training. Thankfully, all the army here is ready. And it seems we went beyond what I expected, but we had a pretty good playthrough. And we can enable this so that we won't lose any entrenchment on attack. And I'm going to prepare some fortifications in the case we won't be able to kick them out of Albania and we will have to face the Germans. So that's another thing I have to keep in mind. At the very least I want to retreat and hold here. And this is where the war starts. So we will have to put the speed very low and start talking about things. As you see, the war has started. Now, because we have prepared quite well, we have finished some focuses. All these focuses basically have something to do with the buffs you are given. And so we have 3 choices to make at this point. Oh, I forgot, the event that just finished basically tells you that the allies will invite you, but if you accept, the Germans warn you that they will commit into the war. So if you want to only fight the Italians, you will not join the allied faction. They also tell you that if you give them military access, they will also join the war. So you also don't want to give the British or any other allied nation military access, because you might think that if you do that, they will just bring their army in freely and you can then call them into war. So this is not a choice. You cannot bring them to your land. If you do bring them, then the Germans will join the war and attack you, and not exactly you, they will also attack Yugoslavia. So we have 3 choices. We can go with Operation Anivas, Operation Hannibal, and you can pretty much suspect what this means, but we're playing a historical run, we won't go down this part, and we can prepare for the spring offensive, which is the most good thing to do. Now we can also increase our conscription, gain more manpower, and we can bring our reinforcements to the front. Now, as you can see, we have the new part. Don't pay mind to these decisions. They're pretty much placeholders. So the first thing we have to do is stabilize the line. The text tries to help you, to tell you what line to defend. Now the line we have to defend is Preveza. Preveza is here, Ioannina, Grevena, Kozani, Genitsa. So you have to defend this line. If the Italians penetrate this line, this mission will fail and you will have to defend the second line, which is this one, and Thessaloniki, of course. So you have to keep the Italians at this part of the map. Now if the Italians break this line again, then you go to the final chain of events, which is defending Athens and the port of Isthmus. If you fail, then you capitulated and it's game over. Not even Hellenic state, it's game over. If you manage to defend, you will be able to make the Greek winter counteroffensive, which will give you some buffs to attack the Italians. Now I also want to do this because I forgot about it. Now the events that we got, as you can see, is pretty much the maximum numbers, and we gain these buffs. I don't want to go into more detail, I just want to keep playing the game. And I could explain them in detail why they are like they are, but I think I will do this another time. So I don't want anything to do with the allies. It seems that I'm holding. They do have some control. I'm just gonna put them into interception, and at this point I don't want to risk it, so I will call these guys out, put them on another general and tell them to defend the coastline here. And I will bring some more actually. The idea is to defend all the coastline in this position. I don't want to lose anything. In case they try to bring over the ships, I'm not going to use my ships because I will lose them. And just in case, have I upgraded this general? No, I will do it now. As you can see, we can hold them off pretty well. It's pretty hard for them to attack. They don't even have good supply. And you can accept non-aggression pacts, it won't change anything, but you have to be very careful not to give any rights, that was a no by the way, to military access, because you will have issues. Now the Italian attack is almost over. Let me increase my game speed a bit so it goes off a bit sooner. Go down with this. Again, the Italians will bring most of their army, so you will have a challenge to face. And as you can see, we can do some other decisions. I will start doing with turn around and face the Bulgarians. Now this is the reason why I'm preparing this army here. They are meant for the Bulgarians. Again, I'm gonna pop them out, put them into the reserves, and now I think they're enough to cover the entire front line. That's nice. So the Italians basically brought their entire army here, I think. So if we had some naval bombers, we would be able to do a lot of damage to their supply and completely crush them. But now it seems that the line will be stabilized, and then we will have to counterattack. Alright, we gained some bonuses, mostly political power, and I would also like to talk about the war strength, which we had the moment the war started. Now what this does is check how many units you have on the map, how big your army is, and it gives you some dynamic disadvantages, dynamic penalties. You can read all about it by yourself. Currently, during the first few months of the war, it only takes down your factory output and docker output. As the war progresses, you will lose more, you will have more penalties like division attack, division defense, division movement, not division movement speed, division supplies, and all that will be affected as well. But as you can see, you cannot just spam military factories and hope for the best. It will be very hard to hold yourself against the Germans for the entirety of it, and it's actually an achievement I'm willing to make. I'm willing to make this as an achievement. Now the Italians have to end their attack, and I think I will check these guys out. They're almost ready, and we have some days. What my purpose is here is to successfully complete the winter counteroffensive. I have to take Northern Epirus and the state of Bluri. I don't know how to say it. So if we take that, it's fine. If we don't take that, then it's problem, right? It seems it will be hard to attack at this point. Thankfully, they haven't brought any planes here. So I'm just gonna move some more of my troops here. Keep 6 divisions on the front. Nope, I don't want that. And yes, we can make some. It will take some time, but everything we get is useful. Again, our efficiency is dropped, and it will drop more the more units we make. So if I try to make more divisions right in and train them, you will see that this will increase even more. Now we have minus 39%, but I do need an army to attack, so it seems that we will break at some point. So I should retreat with 1 division here, help it out, and I'm just needing a chance to attack, so I will drop the game speed a bit because they don't have anything. So if I manage to attack them at some point, I will probably be able to break them. The thing is, they're attacking like crazy, like they did historically, because the Italian generals are crap at doing their job. So we need 1 chance to attack, and I think we will break them. Now I will try to make it a bit harder. So the moment we hit our milestone, we will get the exhausted army, which will give us some debuffs, so we will stop the attack. And here we're almost ready to do this. Attacking, good. We have defended. The troops are into position as well, nicely. And I think we will finally pierce through them at some point. Hope so. Let's attack from this side as well. It will be hard to take Vlora, however. Or actually, I could also use this. I don't think there are any rivers. They're here, but I don't know how it might apply. And I will increase the attack to maximum possible. Again, we can change, we can start preparing a defensive creep if we want to go down historically. And it seems like we might not even be able to take the port because it's very well defended. And we have 37 days to do that, so... Alright, we took the port, for some reason they cracked. That's good. Alright, that's also bad though, I need... Wait a second. Shit. Fuck, I should keep the point. I need to bring in reinforcements as quickly as possible. I need to defend this, and I need to take this. And we are done, I think. We completed the objective. And this is going to be hard. Thing is, they're attacking like crazy. They will lose more than I will. I mean, obviously they will have more casualties than I have. It's nothing. And perhaps I should stop trying to attack. Let them waste themselves, and on 10 days I will attack again. That's the plan here. Again, what I can do is take all this out. Right, bring all these guys in as fast as possible, and have these guys here. Tell them to prepare. And bring them as fast as possible. I have a lot to do. Alright, so let's change things a bit here. I need one army group at this point and one here. Now, I want to split them accordingly. So these 22 get detached now. 3 defend this, 2 more here, 5. Alright, I should have done it the other way around. Right, all go here at this one and try to attack this. This is the province I want to take. I'm gonna have 2 here and this here as well. Probably one more because they're attacking here like crazy. I need to defend it. And you guys can... what did they do? Nothing. Not you, not you, you. Alright, we have our chance to get it now. Perhaps we get lucky and we get a break. I need to add half of the attackers here, support. You can close... what the hell? I don't know. It's gonna be a tough one, but we have to take it. I will have those attack here, find a chance, right? Now we have 3-side attack, and we have some river issues. Perhaps I could find the general, that he is there. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work very well. Right, stop, have them attack. I think we're gonna have a stalemate in Albania, guys, then. That's quite a rare one. Perhaps I buffed them a bit too much. So let's go with real allies. This will give us some choices about getting some equipment. Currently not yet implemented, so... Alright, I just need to set up some plan. Are they planning? No. Who is this general? Can I see who the general is? It's yellow, so it is this guy. Where is this guy? Alright, how many days do we have? 15. Alright, so let's do this. All these guys go to him. Doesn't matter, they go to him. I don't have enough power. Alright, all the rest. Not this one. All the rest will be moved. Some half here, and have one here. Alright, now I rebalance the things, and let's have this guy prepare as possible. And I want them to attack here. Perhaps I just have made some infantry divisions, but I need to increase their plant attack, make it as strong as possible. Try to one last time to crack them. All these guys, who do they belong to? He also is not a mountaineer. Perhaps I have some mountaineer here that I can use. I have an engineer, that's not that good. He has one though, that's not what I want. Any mountaineers here? No mountaineers. Crap. We're about to lose Vlord, which is a problem. No, not this, not this. I need them to train. I need to give them 5 days to prepare for the assault. Otherwise, it's gonna be a problem. Now, I need to sacrifice some people here because I'm afraid they will just bring reinforcements to that tile, and I don't want this to happen. So, right, they're almost ready. I can just a bit more. Right, these guys, I don't know why they have a problem, but let me delete this. Put people here, defend. These guys should be ready in 1 day. Good, we have 10 days, this is our last chance. Full attack. Now they're attacking. I wish I could attack here, but I can't. Alright, here goes anything. Let's bring the planes in, try to deny them some movement speed, I guess, if that works. No, attack, do not train, just attack. Right, just attack. Can someone attack here? No one can attack here. I think it won't work. Sad to say, it won't work. Well, it seems we botched it, and we won't be able to take out their side. It seems that they managed to hold us off, and I should just give up and try to do something different. Alright, taking it out. Go here. Send the army. The rest send them here. The thing is, for me to attack Bulgaria, I need not to have exhausted army, which I am about to get. So I have 40 days, that is this is early February, I should attack Bulgaria. It takes me back, but we still have a window to achieve a victory in Albania, and the plan is defend as much as possible, do as much damage as possible. Yes, stop, everyone stops. Increase speed because we have nothing else to do. We just leave the Italians do the attack now. Yes, fuck. Come on, man, this is unfair. I would just get it, I think. Pity. If we had 2 more days, we would have gotten it. I guess, or not. Alright, they bring the troops again, so... Alright, fuck it. Just hold the line, I guess. I think I need to bring more troops here. I don't want to lose the port because that takes them most of their supplies. It's the best port. This port is only 2 levels. If I lose the port, there's going to be a problem. They're losing here a lot. They're attacking like crazy. Right, this guy should move here, and I will place them here for a bit. Okay, we have some more factories. I guess we need to buy some more resources. Cover things up. We are losing here, so I guess I'll make one guy retreat. Where is this guy? Okay, send them here. I guess we lost this. Right, we didn't lose. I want them to increase some of their organization. And then I need to build more troops. Do I have? I don't have enough equipment, and I don't want to lose equipment, so let's be careful. We're already lacking anti-air, which is a problem. Right, I don't want to lose my planes as well, so bring them back here, do this. And just defend your fucking ass till the end of time. Let's keep going down the focus, no, nothing else to do. Right, these guys are trained, so I almost forgot, fuck. Right, move them fast with low, defend it. Right, what we can do right now is take the rest guys out, give them a break. And the Italians should crack at some point and stop their massive assaults. And the exhausted army will end 4th of February. That's it, 50 days. Now, 15 days. I need to make sure that I prepare good enough against the Bulgarians. So I will have to move my army outside here. Now, it seems that this was an over-exaggeration and they don't seem really willing to naval invade me. So I might want to save some infantry equipment. How much will I save? 100 by 25. 2,500 infantry equipment. Not that great of a deal. Leave them as they are. Right, so move the guys out. Move them as fast as possible. Wait a second. How many do I have here? Alright, 10 units. Good. Move them fast. And I need one guy with mountain experience. There is none. Fuck. Alright, I will put everyone on defense. Here on Drakos. Right. So the ones in this front go to Drakos. So I just have one guy. And why this happened? Sorry, just go here and have this guy. I just want 10 people to stay in this line. And right, this guy leaves. This guy leaves, I mean, like this. This guy's... Alright, I need to take these guys out. How many more? Give it here. Alright, how many? How many more? This guy as well. He can go there. So you have 11 people here. Why do we have this damn thing? Whoever has, want them all to stick here. Prepare an attack, doesn't really matter. I want him to defend at this point, and I want all the rest. You know what? Let's do it like this. Fuck. Good, 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 and prepare the attack on the Bulgarians. And let's hope these guys hold. If they don't hold, I can do some stuff so I don't lose too much land. I can start preparing some forts, just in case. I just want the Italians to lose all their infantry, and then it's fine. They almost lost 500,000. If they keep attacking like that, we will be able to attack later on. Because we have huge issues with our morale. They don't get any time to recover. So I might go with this again. Just spam it as much as possible, not to lose any morale. The Italians are already cracking, and sadly Metaxas died, so we have that problem as well. Shit. I think I should move one unit between front lines, help in this position, but I have to make sure he gets there. Right, good, he got there, now he needs to get there as well, and I will take the most tired unit, get it back. Come on, can you retreat? Why can't he retreat? Oh, I have the spirit, the ability. Right, and bring them up like this, so they will have to walk, gain some reorganization, and they will go back. Now it's 6th of February. Let's see what state we have. Do we have train units? We kinda have. Now the idea is simple. Since we have no collaboration in Bulgaria, this is the hardest mission possible. So we'll have to take some things. We'll have to take Sofia, Plovdiv, Burgas, and Varna to capitulate them. Now I will immediately rush to these positions, take one unit here, and start attacking, and we have 30 days. Now we trust on our influence with the Germans not to intervene, and in fact if we don't have high enough influence we will be able to keep the Bulgarians from joining the Axis. Now it doesn't make much sense, but this is you know, a bit out historical, but since I want to capitulate the Italians, this is where we go off. So I'm gonna put some units here, attack, see how it goes, try to exploit any lines that it doesn't. Right, I want to take these guys here and move on this position, where other two will go from this. I need to find and make a circle in Plovdiv, and then I need to pass the river who these guys belong to. I think the Vakis. He doesn't have makeshift bridges, which is bad. Neither does this guy. I have to go with Papagos if it is necessary, but it seems we broke through by keeping the other guys, so I'm gonna tie this guy here for a bit, create a second line, and I just need to take these two provinces. Right, this guy can go here. Plovdiv is a necessity to fall, and Sofia must fall as well, but it seems that they have some units there, which is problematic. Getting some research as well. Doesn't matter what I get at this point, it's all over. And we could go with this just to start upgrading it. Oh, it seems we lost. Oh no, we didn't. Nice. Right, we took Sofia. We want to hold here. We don't want to over push it. Try to close in on Plovdiv. This is the last land. It seems it has fallen as well. So come on, come on. Don't hold them down. It seems the Americans want to help. Nice. Ah, fuck. But it stopped. Oh shit. Wait. We don't have many days yet. Right, we took all the cities, so the Bulgarians will capitulate. And we have the capitulation of Bulgaria. And this picture is an interesting one I found online. It says Bulgarophagos, which means Bulgarian eater. I found it pretty funny, so I had to include it. And we have a white piece. Now, since we haven't done anything, I don't want us to get access to Bulgarian units, but if we have high enough collaboration, this is what will happen. Now, I will consider this something that's not meant to happen, so I'm not going to use them. Actually, I'm in a bad position, because if I take them and put them on the spot, alright, that's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna take their units, put them on a new theater, and reduce priority, because I don't want my equipment to go there. And let's say they do not exist. Now we can bring everyone back home and join the line with Katsimitros. Now let's bring all the guys together. And since Katsimitros doesn't have a lot of an attack, I want to move them units to other generals as priority. This guy has 5, this guy has 2. Yikes, I don't want my troops here, I want my troops commanded by these guys. So I'm gonna reset the line and try a final push to capitulate the entire of Albania. Now, 1, I can wait for their attack and do it fallingly, or 2, I can start doing it now. I think I will try to do the latter. So Sofia has fallen. We still have the exhausted army, I think. Nope. We will get the exhausted army when it is over. Let's keep going for this. No. Actually, I'm gonna go for political power because we're still on minus and we're losing. So it's that. Just want to bring my army here, and they always stop for some reason moving. Good. And as you see, the German AI rework has happened and they start manning up on these borders because they're about to attack Yugoslavia. Now, that's not something I want to see, so I need to take the Italians now or face the wrath of the Germans. Can this happen? Let's see. If I manage to make a breakthrough here, perhaps it will be possible. Let's see how it goes. Makeshift bridges. I try to attack. It seems that we will break them finally. Marcos Dragos wounded. Doesn't matter. We just need to push. Right. I will even bring the Air Force. Alright, we pushed one, now we have to go to Tirana and capture this port and they're done. This is how it must go. If I see my troops in Tirana, I will lower game speed because I need to control it. Good, now this is interesting because we can encircle here. If this works out, alright, I'm gonna put 3 units attack here as well. If we break this, it's over, we won. Right, 3 of them, keep pressuring. Take them all. Fuck, they managed to retreat. Shit! Alright, cancel the plan, keep going. Just take the port. Keep them pinned and take the port. Nice. Now they can't do shit. Right, 1. And here, fueling supplies. As you see, our officers will become worse. So this is a problem, but we have finally managed to circle the Italian army and completely annihilate them. So that's nice. Just need to take this last province and it's over. If the game lets me attack. Good. Albania has fallen and we should be getting an event at this point. Let me make a save. Just gonna take defensive positions in case the negotiations break down. And anytime now we should be getting the event. Nice. So we have 2 choices. Either keep the war going or open negotiations. And this is the final part of this playthrough. This should have an icon, it doesn't. So Italian channels are quiet. It is shame or anger the reason they cannot speak. Is the injustice brought upon us or the lack of might to make right that hinders them? There is someone, however, that Duce won't avoid talking to. And it seems that negotiations broke down because I'm not sure myself. There is a chance that the Italians will deny it, so it is what it is, and we will have to continue the war. Now, this is one choice for things to follow to, but I want to display what happens if you continue with the negotiations. So I guess I will have to try it one more time. This is actually the first time it broke down, so I guess bad luck. So again, it seems that this time the negotiations were accepted by the Italians through the German mediation channels. Again, historically, the Germans wanted for a peace to happen, so it's not far-fetched. So we go into this negotiation screen, and we can see some interesting stuff. Right, first of all, we can see land acquisition. We can talk about it. We can point to the Dodecanese Islands and add the Dodecanese Islands to the list of demands. We can do the same with Northern Epirus and with Albania as well. Now, what happens here is that the game, depending on certain factors, decides a ceiling of willingness. Now, its decision will obviously affect the willingness of the opposing party to accept the negotiations. If we ask too much, they will disagree. If we ask too little, we might lose. Now, if we had enough civilian intel on the Italians, a little box would appear on top of the screen telling us about the willingness of the Italians. But since we haven't done it, it won't appear. So we have to go in a bit blind. So this is a way to make it a bit more interesting and create a negotiation system to end the war in your terms. Now, in this case, let's see what happens if we demand the annexation of Albania. And we can conclude land demands and go with regarding reparations, and we still have some more choices to make. Now, I won't go into industrial and equipment reparations, I will just demand an official apology, conclude, and regarding future stability, I will ask guarantees with German insurance. And now I can finalize the terms, and I see that the Treaty of Tirana has been rejected. Now what we can do is have another go and call the German ambassador, or screw this and keep going on with the war. Now we can have one more chance. If this chance fails as well, we won't be given another one. So we have to be a bit careful and remove Albania from the list of demands and ask for the liberation of Albania. So we can conclude it, and I don't want to be too cocky, so regarding ethical reparations I will retract the demand of an official apology. So I can finalize the terms, and we can see that the Italians have accepted. And now the Waves of Fate are concluded, and Kingdom of Greece and Italy have signed a white peace, and we are at peace with the Italians and the world. Albania has been liberated, but we have taken control of Northern Epirus, and we should gain access to the Dodecanese. Oh, perhaps I removed them from the list by mistake. I don't know, perhaps that's bugged out. But we should also gain the Dodecanese. For some reason we didn't, I'm not sure why. I will check out the code later. But overall, this is a representation of the new mod. Obviously this is one playthrough from the many that you can achieve. There are many choices that you can make. I really hope you like this, and also we retain Bulgaria as a puppet, obviously, and if we could make Albania as a puppet as well, we would have a semi-autonomous sphere of influence of our own, and we will be able to continue developing and then join the war on our terms. But in any case, this is the mod. I hope you guys liked it. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below. I will try to keep updating, incorporate some new things I have in mind, and I am aiming for a winter release, specifically Christmas. So again, thank you for watching, and bye for now.